God's unique plan for world renewal. 8th lesson. Trimurti. Shiv means beneficial. This name has been attributed to the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, because, at the end of the world cycle, when the human souls and nature have become sinful and tamopradhan, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv, the point of light, who is a dweller of the Supreme Abode, takes the support of a human body and purifies and makes both the human souls as well as nature satopradhan. In remembrance of this very act of Shiv, the festival of Shivratri, that is, Shiv Jayanti, in the words of the Supreme Father, is celebrated. Shivratri literally means Shiv's night, name of a festival in the honor of Shiv. And Shiv Jayanti literally means the birthday of Shiv. The Supreme Soul Shiv isn't born from the seed of a man or the womb of a mother. Through Prajapita, he is the living seed of this tree-like human world. He is beyond the cycle of birth and death, and he is free from the bondages of actions. So, he enters an ordinary, old human body in a divine way, in order to perform his task. This itself is called the divine incarnation of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, because he doesn't possess his own body. His divine task is accomplished in 3 phases: establishment, destruction, and sustenance. To accomplish these 3 tasks, he takes the support of 3 corporeal deity souls who attain a subtle stage. Those deity souls are Brahma, Shankar, and Vishnu. To know which 3 souls play the part of Brahma, Shankar, and Vishnu after the divine incarnation of Shiv on the stage-like human world, it is important for us to know about the incidents from the time of the incarnation of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul in 1936-37 till now. This task of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul began in 1936-37 in the city of Sindh, Hyderabad in Pakistan, when he made Dada Lekhraj, a well-known diamond merchant, have visions of the four-armed Vishnu, destruction of the old world, that is hell, and the establishment of the new world, that is heaven. But he was unable to understand the meaning of those divine visions. He asked the meaning of those visions to his gurus. But how can the bodily gurus understand the play of God? He, that is Dada Lekhraj, went to the great Pandits of Varanasi, but he met with disappointment there too. He continued to have visions there too. He used to draw the pictures of those visions on the walls near the banks of the river Ganges. When no one was able to solve his problem, finally, he remembered his business partner, Sevakram, who lived in Calcutta. It was because of being impressed by the loyalty and honesty of the partner that he had handed over the responsibility of his diamond shop in Calcutta to him. Later on, Dada Lekhraj went to Calcutta, but instead of speaking about his visions directly to his business partner, he spoke about them to a mother, who was his close relative. She in turn spoke to another mother, who was good at speaking, listening and narrating, that is, reporting what was said to her. Later on, when that mother who was good at listening and narrating spoke about them, that is, those visions to Prajapita, that is the partner, at that very moment, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv, the point of light, entered that mother and Prajapita simultaneously without their knowledge. And in this manner, through the process of listening and narrating, the description of the visions, the foundation of the path of devotion was laid through the mother, skilled in speaking, and through the process of understanding and explaining the knowledge, the foundation of the path of knowledge was laid through the partner. In this way, since the Supreme Father Shiv entered the partner for the very first time in front of both the mothers and started the task of world transformation. Later, he, the point of light Shiv himself, becomes famous in the world with the name Trimurti Shiv through these 3 deities, that is Brahma, Shankar and Vishnu, in their following birth. After some time, Dada Lekhraj recognized his role as the form of Brahma in the present birth and the form of Krishna as the first crown prince in the forthcoming golden age, through the experience of his visions and through the practical paths of the partner and the mother who was his close relative. According to these incidents, the field of action of the Supreme Father and the family was Sindh Hyderabad at first, then it shifted to Calcutta and later on to Karachi in Pakistan. There, the Supreme Father initially taught the knowledge and Rajyog through the partner in Sindh Hyderabad for a few years and then through the mothers in Karachi. At the beginning, that family was known as Om Mandali because everyone going there used to go into a trance and have visions of heaven and Krishna as soon as they pronounced the word Om. Coincidentally, three members of the Alokik family of the Supreme Father Supreme Soul, the partner, the first mother and the mother who was a close relative of Dada Lekhraj, died by 1946-47. Later on, the Supreme Father continued his task of world transformation through Dada Lekhraj. Among the maidens and mothers present at that time, there was also a maiden named Om Radhe, who had the faith that she will play the part of Saraswati in the present birth, and the first crown princess in the form of Radha, complete with 16 celestial degrees in the forthcoming golden age. In 1951, this family shifted from Pakistan to Mount Abu in Rajasthan, India. Meanwhile, Om Mandali was renamed as Brahmakumari Ishwariya Vishwavidyalay and they started to publicize the knowledge. The great sentences, which the point of light Shiv narrated by entering the body of Dada Lekhraj, alias Brahma, from 1951 till 18th January 1969, are called the Murlis of Knowledge. B.K. Om Radhe and Dada Lekhraj acted as Jagdamba and Prajapita Brahma from 1947 till 1965 to 68. After Dada Lekhraj left the body on 18th January 1969, B.K. Prakashmani took over the control of the institution and after her death, Dadi Janki became the main administrator of this institution that has spread all over the country and abroad. The members of the Brahma Kumari institution thought that now there is no corporeal medium of the Supreme Father Shiv, and it is they who have to establish heaven. In the absence of the Supreme Soul's sustenance in the form of the mother and the father, the condition of this family of God has become just like that of orphans after the death of their parents in the Lokik world. The number of the members of the institution did rise gradually, but their quality was unlike that of the children who received the sustenance of the Supreme Soul in the initial years of the institution. Just like people are spoiled in the company of bad people, similarly, the sinful souls can't become pure without the corporeal company of the ever pure and the beneficial Shiv either. Hence, after Dada Lekhraj Brahma left his body, the Supreme Father Supreme Soul once again took the support of the same souls whom he had chosen in the beginning, that is in 1936-37, in order to complete his unfinished task of establishing heaven on this world. The same partner, the first mother and the mother who was a close relative of Brahma Baba, through whom the task of the Supreme Soul began and who died before 1946-47, become the members of the Brahma Kumaris institution once again in their following birth or in another body with different name and form. The soul of the partner is reborn in Kayamganj Tehsil of district Farrukhabad, Uttar Pradesh, India. The first mother is born in Delhi, and the mother who was a close relative becomes a Brahma Kumari in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and later becomes the in charge of the Brahma Kumari service centers in Africa. Note: this statement mentioned above is the belief of all the students at Adhyatmik Vidyalay, based on the Murlis and Avyakt Vanis narrated at Mount Abu. In 1969, in the Paldi Service Center at Ahmedabad, that BK's sister, who was the mother, the close relative of Brahma Baba, became an instrument to narrate the primary knowledge that is propagated by the Brahma Kumaris institution to that person from Farrukhabad. But she was unable to clarify his doubts regarding the knowledge of God. Even the senior brothers and sisters living at the headquarters of the institution failed to clarify his doubts, and that Brahmakumari, in order to clarify his doubts, continued to give him the printed copies of all the Murlis of knowledge narrated by the Supreme Father Shiv through Dada Lekhraj Brahma so that he can return them after reading. The Supreme Father Shiv had already started entering the body of that person from Farrukhabad in secret from 1969, but he was unaware of it. While deeply studying the Gyan Murlis of the Supreme Father, and because of the entrance of Shiv, the point of light in him, he not only found an answer to his doubts, but the deep secrets hidden in those Murlis, that is Brahma's Vani, also started to become clear in his intellect. After 1969, he had complete faith on the corporeal part of the Supreme Father Shiv and the secret of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the world narrated in the Murlis as well. After that, he started narrating the knowledge that he had obtained from this study to the Brahma Kumar Kumaris from 1976, that is the year of the Father's revelation. Neither the Brahma Kumari sisters nor the so-called senior brothers and sisters of the institution accepted his explanations, and they tried to stop him from doing so by every means. But the Supreme Father Shiv certainly had to be revealed in the world. Based on the knowledge narrated by him, some Brahma Kumar Kumaris at the service centers located on the banks of the river Yamuna in Delhi gained faith that the knowledge wasn't the knowledge narrated by some human being, but it was the knowledge of God narrated by the Supreme Father Shiv himself through his body. The world transformation will be brought about only through that knowledge. In this way, there was revelation of the permanent chariot of the Supreme Father in the Alokik Brahmin world in 1976 in Delhi. Based on the knowledge of God narrated through this permanent chariot, the Brahma Kumar Kumaris started to think that the Supreme Father Shiv himself was playing the part of Prajapita, that is Shankar, the one who had sowed the seed of knowledge in the intellect of the junior mother, the senior mother, and Dada Lekhraj in the beginning of the Yagya, that is in 1936-37, and now, in the end, by giving the explanation of the Murlis narrated through the mouth of Brahma in the form of the teacher, he is giving the inheritance of imperishable happiness and peace again. Besides, the maiden born in Delhi, who had played the part of Adi Devi or Jagdamba or Adi Brahma in the form of the mother, is once again playing the role of Jagdamba or Brahma, that is the senior mother now. Actually, it is the soul of Dada Lekhraj Brahma that enters her and plays this part, and the mother, who was a close relative of Brahma Baba, who plays a part in the beginning and end, who, in her previous birth, had become an instrument for giving sustenance to the Supreme Soul's family for some time between 1940 to 247, will become an instrument in spreading the advanced knowledge throughout the world in the form of Vaishnavi Devi in the future. Along with Prajapita, she will play the part of giving sustenance in the form of Vaishnavi Devi or Vishnu, that is Lakshmi Narayan, before as well as after the destruction. In this way, according to the Murlis narrated, the above mentioned three souls themselves become the instruments in the form of Brahma, Shankar, and Vishnu for the three divine tasks of the incorporeal Supreme Father Shiv: the establishment of the new world, the destruction of the old world of Brahmins, that is Brahmakumari Vidyalaya, and the sustenance of the new divine world, respectively, in the beginning as well as now, in the end.